Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai ben Shoshanna, Leah Mintche bas Gittel, and Shaul ben Berta. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted, and may the memories be a blessing. This week's Parsha Perspective is dedicated by the Hess family in honor of the safety and security of the Jewish people worldwide. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Pinchas, a role to play. Our Parsha begins with Pinchas, the grandson of Aaron HaKohen, receiving a reward for killing Zimri, the head of the tribe of Shimon. Zimri was publicly consorting with a Midianite princess, so Pinchas took a spear and ended both their lives. The reward Pinchas received was the kahuna, was the priesthood. The Talmud in Zvachim explains that when God anointed Aaron and his 4 sons, God said that this appointment was for Aaron, his sons, and all the future generations. Since Pinchas was alive when they were anointed, he did not receive entrance into the priesthood, and therefore his reward was to become a priest. Moshe was then asked to count the Jewish people after all the executions from their sin in the past Parsha, and the total was just above 600,000. When Moshe was finished counting the Jewish nation, God told him to go up Mount Ivarim and catch a glimpse of Israel. Since he would not enter the land, this was the only way to fulfill his dream of entering Israel. Moshe Rabbeinu then asked Hashem who would be his successor. He thought his children would succeed him as they did his brother Aaron, but God had a different plan. He told him that his most devoted disciple, Yeshua ben Nun, would take over him. The Parsha concludes with detailing all the communal sacrifices offered in the Mishkan and in the Beis Mikdash. Many were offered daily, but some were brought specifically on Shabbos and on different holidays. However, a question comes to mind. As stated, the Parsha ends off with the karbanos, with the sacrifices that were offered in the Mishkan and in the Beis Mikdash. But usually, the Torah follows a narrative that is at least partially connected. So what is the connection between karbanos, between sacrifices, and Moshe Rabbeinu learning who his successor will be? Why are these two presumably different topics written together? The Ramban Rav Moshe ben Nachman, a leading scholar and Kabbalist from the 13th century, gives a simple explanation. He writes that although many sacrifices were previously mentioned in Parshas Emor, here it is different. In Parshas Emor, the Mishkan was just built and the Kohanim and the priests were still learning how to perform their duties. The Ramban explains that the nation just learned who will succeed Moshe Rabbeinu, and so God details the sacrifices that Yeshua ben Nun must oversee. And since he will be leading them into the land of Israel, he must ensure that these karbanos, that these sacrifices are brought in its proper time and in its proper place. The Yirachmiel HaKadosh, Rav Chaim Ibn Attar, a Moroccan commentary and Kabbalist, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He writes that the sacrifices, that the karbanos are repeated to teach the future leader of the Jewish people a powerful lesson. Just as the whole community offers these karbanos, offers these sacrifices, he must lead by empowering his people. He should delegate and entrust some leadership responsibilities to his people and believe that they will fulfill their duty. The Yirachmiel HaKadosh learns this idea from the words, Tzav es b'nei Yisrael v'amarta alehem, command the Jewish people and tell them, that the leader should tell the nation what they must do and let them perform the sacrifices, let them perform their duties. The intention behind the pasuk was to show Yeshua ben Nun that every person has a role to play in the community. Some are Kohanim, some are priests who represent us in the Mishkan and in the Beis Mikdash. Others are rabbis who educate us and lead. But many others are the ones who enable both by financially supporting and investing in these holy causes. The Yirachmiel HaKadosh explains that God is showing Yeshua ben Nun the significance of his people and their purpose in the world. Each person has a role to play and a unique light to share with the world. In our daily life, it is imperative to recognize the value of others and the unique soul that God gifted them. Every person was created with a task that only they can accomplish, and only once we all achieve it can God's light shine freely once again. There is a powerful quote about the value of others. Always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.